You could see it 3 and out. Ravens go 3 and out, and it's just like, okay. Really? Mahomes then gets on the field, 10-play drive, touchdown.
Man. Marched.
But then Lamar starts making throws, right?
Well, they immediately came back and hit the 40-yarder.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then,
okay, game time. Let's go.
And then 16-play drive.
Yeah.
Up 14-7. And the thing I will never understand, again, I'm not a play caller. I'm not an X's and O's guy. As you know, I'm a narrative guy. I'm a storyline guy. I'm a guy who can just see it, when I see it. It just looked like Lamar couldn't find his receivers easily enough. He wasn't seeing it well enough. When you see one of the best offensive plays of the half is a 13-yard gain to himself.
That play was crazy.
That
came
was
out of nowhere.
That was one of the best plays of the half. Obviously, the ones that scored, on the touchdown drive were better. But other than that, they weren't getting many positive yards.
Well, wasn't he the leading passer, receiver, and rusher for the Ravens in the first half?
Well, again, the fact that they finished up with 6 running plays to running backs. When Zay Flowers had 1 fewer run than Justice Hill and 1 fewer run than Gus Edwards, and the Chiefs were coming in off of a performance in Buffalo where the Bills, certainly in the first half, had some success running the ball. It's just like, you got to wonder how that happens. How does that happen? What happens there? And, after the game, John Harbaugh basically said that's the way it went. And I'm sure he'll look at Todd Monken at some point, I guess. I don't know. Did coaches have these conversations? They must. Like, what happened? 6 rushes. Certainly when Lamar is running for his life or unable to find these receivers, and it didn't look crisp at all.
Yeah. And the City defense looked great.
Couldn't get Mark Andrews.
Well, the defense looked great in the second half, but then the defense made these bonehead 15-yarders that are so easy to call. Certainly if Warren Sharp of Sharp Football was tweeting it out, and you were talking about it last week.
It was a big story,
That this officiating crew
that's right.
is flag happy against home teams.
Yep.
Then John Harbaugh knows this. And he's told his team, mind your P's and Q's here. And then when the chippiness that was starting pregame between 3 Hall of Famers in Justin Tucker, who decides to warm up and stretch right before the goal line of the Chiefs, where Pat Mahomes is going through pat and goes and putting his, the holding triangle right in Mahomes' area. And Kelsey takes all of Tucker's gear and throws them away, and Mahomes picks it up. James Palmer of NFL Network caught this video. We led our 6th and final hour of coverage about this.
It went crazy.
We scrapped our rundown.
Yeah.
So the chippiness is happening, and L'Jarius Sneed and Millette went at it.
Yep.
So when Kelsey's barking at the Ravens, just walk away or just... what are you doing?
I don't know.
Van Noy goes up and headbutts him. And Kelsey starts laughing because I bet you the Chiefs were talking all week about which Ravens they could light up and light the fuse. And I bet you Van Noy was one of them.
Bait him.
And they did it.
Yeah.
And then another moment where, was it Jones who smacked Mahomes in the face?
Like he kind of did like a backhanded
and
clothesline.
And then Clowney, as he's coming in, looks like he lowered his helmet a little bit and gave him a little bit of the business with his helmet. Like, on Mahomes, you're going to try this?
Right.
Roquan Smith jumps the snap and smokes the guard in front of him. Another easy one. These are all easy calls. Easy calls. Hands to the face. All these things. It was so un-Ravens-like for this to happen.
And as a former Patriot, you wouldn't suspect Kyle Van Noy would be the guy who would.
Yeah, right.
Because it always seems like your guys, Chris, know better.
They know what you're not supposed to do. And what gets the eye of the official.
And that's the way the Ravens go out.
It's disappointing.
I don't compute it. Other than the fact that the Chiefs had their number. And they didn't see him this year. Everyone else, they had pretty much everyone else's number.
They blew out everybody this year. They scored a lot of points this season.
But they didn't
10?
run it.
Ugh.
They abandoned the run. And I they've got some great players, and it was a really good first season under Lamar's new way of doing things with a new offensive coordinator, and what a disappointing finish. No other way to describe it for the Ravens, who now watch the Chiefs move on again. And Mahomes has now bagged Lamar and Josh Allen, and he's gotten Burrow once. And anybody that's coming at the King has been getting the horns. I know I just mixed my metaphors.
But that's what we're talking about when we talk about the AFC at the beginning of this season. So many great quarterbacks, so many great teams.
And look who's the one who's standing.
Still.
And you'll hear it from Kansas City, how the MVP award should be including postseason action as well.
Rich.
Okay, that's an overreaction coming up for our podcast later. Okay, very good. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.